Alexa, what is the highlight of your week?
E-Youth Group Boy AE.
You know that we're all stuck inside. Getting sick of spending time online. I need new ways to spend my time. You can believe it. I know you can't come to youth group, so I'm bringing youth group to you. All I'm asking from you is some time. Students, I made this song just for you. I hope it doesn't bore you. Oh, students, I made this song to diss you. Just know that I miss you. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. Canceled at least till summertime. Sit back and enjoy another rhyme. Would you believe it? I know you can't come to youth group, so I'm bringing youth group to you. All I'm asking from you is some time. Students, I made this song just for you. I hope it doesn't bore you. Oh, students, I made this song to diss you. Just know that I miss you. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. Oh, I made this song just for you. I hope it doesn't bore you. Students, I made this song to diss you. Just know that I miss you. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. I made this song just for you. I hope it doesn't bore you. Students, I made this song to diss you. Just know that I miss you. It's the opening to E-Youth Group. It's the opening to E-Youth Group.
E-Youth Group Boy AE.
We get it.
We suck.
At announcements. Yeah.
But we try for you guys.
We're not the most entertaining.
And we tend to make things up as we go.
But here we are.
And here are this week's announcements.
We're gonna have a Thursday night hangout at 7 p.m. We're gonna be playing some games and just chatting, seeing how everybody's doing. So don't miss out on that.
We also got, guys, Bible study next Friday, not this Friday, at 7 o'clock. We're going through the book of Revelation right now on a plan on the Bible app. So if you want to still do that, you can be friends with Caleb on the Bible app. And hopefully we'll see you guys there.
We've got a new Bible plan, When Tragedy Strikes, coming up tomorrow. So if you're not friends with Caleb, go ahead and do so you can get the invite.
There will also be a service online from Modesto Covenant Church. It'll be on their account on Facebook, and you can find the service that'll be streaming there on Sunday morning at 9:30. And right after that, we will have Sunday school. And so we'll hope to see you guys there. It'll be at 10:40. So
throughout the week, I seek to find motivation, inspiration, and entertainment for you guys. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you this week is actually a video that we watched with our young adults group. We're doing a class on how to share your faith with others, or how to defend your faith. And there's a big fancy word for that, which is apologetics. So we're in this apologetics course. And one of the videos we watched last night talks about morals, good and bad, and fair, and what's fair, what's not fair, what's unfair. And so I want you guys to watch this video and check it out. Maybe it'll answer some questions for you. Maybe it'll bring out some more questions. But the general idea is that God is the standard for moral values. God is the reason that we have the idea of good and bad, or the concept of fair and unfair. So check it out, and then we've got the rest of our show afterwards.
Can you be good without God? Let's find out. Absolutely astounding. There you have it. Undeniable proof that you can be good without believing in God. But wait, the question isn't, can you be good without believing in God? The question is, can you be good without God? See, here's the problem. If there is no God, what basis remains for objective good or bad, right or wrong? If God does not exist, objective moral values do not exist. And here's why. Without some objective reference point, we have no way of saying that something is really up or down. God's nature provides an objective reference point for moral values. It's the standard against which all actions and decisions are measured. But if there's no God, there's no objective reference point. All we're left with is one person's viewpoint, which is no more valid than anyone else's viewpoint. This kind of morality is subjective, not objective. It's like a preference for strawberry ice cream. The preference is in the subject, not the object. So it doesn't apply to other people. In the same way, subjective morality applies only to the subject. It's not valid or binding for anyone else. So, in a world without God, there can be no evil and no good, nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. God has expressed His moral nature to us as commands. These provide the basis for moral duties. For example, God's essential attribute of love is expressed in His command to love your neighbor as yourself. This command provides a foundation upon which we can affirm the objective goodness of generosity, self-sacrifice, and equality. And we can condemn as objectively evil greed, abuse, and discrimination. This raises a problem. Is something good just because God wills it, or does God will something because it is good? The answer is neither one. Rather, God wills something because He is good. God is the standard of moral values, just as a live musical performance is the standard for a high-fidelity recording.
Without your love.
The more a recording sounds like the original, the better it is. Likewise, the more closely a moral action conforms to God's nature, the better it is. But if atheism is true, there is no ultimate standard. So there can be no moral obligations or duties. Who or what lays such duties upon us? No one. Remember, for the atheist, humans are just accidents of nature, highly evolved animals. But animals have no moral obligations to one another. When a cat kills a mouse, it hasn't done anything morally wrong. The cat's just being a cat. If God doesn't exist, we should view human behavior in the same way. No action should be considered morally right or wrong. But the problem is, good and bad, right and wrong, do exist. Just as our sense experience convinces us that the physical world is objectively real, our moral experience convinces us that moral values are objectively real. Every time you say, "Hey, that's not fair, that's wrong, that's an injustice," you affirm your belief in the existence of objective morals. We're well aware that child abuse, racial discrimination, and terrorism are wrong for everybody, always. Is this just a personal preference or opinion? No. The man who says that it is morally acceptable to rape little children is just as mistaken as the man who says 2 + 2 = 5. What all this amounts to, then, is a moral argument for the existence of God. If God does not exist, objective moral values and duties do not exist. But objective moral values and duties do exist. Therefore, God exists. Atheism fails to provide a foundation for the moral reality every one of us experiences every day. In fact, the existence of objective morality points us directly to the existence of God.
Sometimes we're feeling great in life, and other times we're down in the dumps. If that's you today, students, I just want you to know that you can lean on me.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. 4, 5, it won't be long, 'cause I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow. 4, 5, no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Lean on me when you're weak, that's the way that the saying goes. But sometimes I am weak, in case you didn't know. There's difficulty going on inside that they don't see, but I'm supposed to tell other people to look up to me. God, you see, so tell me, my Lord, how can it be? There's too much going on, so please, God, just set me free. In times like this, there is just one thing to do. They can always lean on me, because I always lean on you.
You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Tell your friends to lean on you if you're feeling nice today, but make sure you're always leaning on Christ, who is the way. If you lean on other things, they'll only ever let you down. Even the people you trust most could watch you as you drown. Paul said, imitate me as I imitate the Son. If you want to do the same, follow Jesus. He's the one. He'll never let you down because he sticks closer than a brother. So lean on Jesus only. That's word to your mother.
You can just call me if you need a friend. You can just call me when you need a friend. You can just call me. I know you need a friend. You can just call me when you all need a friend. You can just call me. Jesus is your friend. You can just call me. Jesus is your friend. You can just call me. Jesus is your friend. You can just call me. All right, boys and girls, our I Am Second video testimony tonight is from Danny Gokey. You may recognize him from American Idol. He's got an awesome testimony of what God did in his life through some difficult times. So I hope you enjoy it. Make sure to join us afterwards for small groups on the Zoom call. The room code is my phone number, and the password is Caleb Rules, all lowercase, one word. Hope to see you there, and miss you guys.
I saw myself hanging onto her casket. I saw myself being buried with her. Well, I think fear has always been one of those things that I've had to constantly battle with. Growing up, being at church and going to a Christian school, there was a solid foundation of faith, but there was always this, I guess, gnawing in the back of my mind, is God with me, or is God gonna leave me because of my mistakes? Am I really unconditionally loved? Is there a limit to this love, and what are the limits? I'd wake up my dad in the middle of the night and say, Dad, I need you to pray with me. He asked me what's going on. I would never tell him. I would never tell him out of fear. What if I reveal what's going on in my head, the craziness of these thoughts? This progressively went on for years. Into my 20s, I met a girl named Sophia. She was born with a heart condition. She had endured the surgery when she was young, and I thought it was fixed. Little did I know that in our first year of marriage that we'd be in the hospital together because her heart would beat around 200 times a minute. And that's when the doctor dropped the news on us. We were both 24 years old, and they said, we have to have another heart surgery. Both of us cried in the office because we didn't know how to take this news. And it was in that moment we were determined to just believe God to see a miracle. The ministry we went to, we saw supernatural things. We saw God healing people from sicknesses like that. Not everyone, but we saw enough to say, hey, we want a piece of this. We would have scripture verses posted everywhere inside our house. You'd wake up in the morning, the little apartment that we had, right on the mirror that you'd look into in the morning had a scripture verse about God's healing. You'd open up the refrigerator, the very first thing you do in the morning, you see another scripture talking about that Jesus, everywhere he went, people were healed and set free and delivered. We had scriptures everywhere. We had belief, we had faith. It was about 4 years into the process that I remember walking into the hospital. And I remember just sitting there saying, God, why? Why are we here? Why are we going through this? I thought you had all power. I thought you could do all things, and we're here in this surgery room, getting ready to have an open heart surgery. And after the first day of surgery, the surgery was not successful. They said, you need to get down here. She's not gonna make it. You need to say goodbye to her. And I literally yelled. They gave me a private room, and I yelled at the loud of them like, God, you have to save her. You have to heal her. You have to. You cannot leave me alone like this. And I remember it got to the point where she was gone. I just felt like it's such a complete loss. And once again, that old familiar thing of fear came back into my life. This time, because she ended up passing away, I literally felt in my heart like God's mad at me. And it's interesting, in one moment of loss or one moment of disappointment, especially disappointment, when you had all your hopes set into God's gonna do it this way, I just know he is because he's a good God. And I guess we translate that, he's a good God, so he's gonna do what I think is good for my life. And that's heal my wife or not let her die. It was the exact opposite. I didn't know how to embrace this moment. The funeral, there was such a numbness on me that I couldn't cry a tear. Everything that I had in me was literally drained. She was an avid American Idol watcher. I made a promise to them. I said, I'm gonna go try out for this TV show. Little did I know that when I would try out for the show, it'd be 1 month exactly after when she passed away. I remember standing in those lines. I remember tears falling down my eyes because one moment I was happy, excited, like this could be a possibility where something good could happen. But the other thing inside of me was like, how am I gonna live life, this new chapter without her? There were several audition processes. The very first audition, I made it through. I remember going to my next auditions in October, and I remember feeling such a depression to the point where Hollywood Week came. I'm in my hotel room, and I'm not even sleeping at night because I'm dealing with these debilitating thoughts again. God, are you with me? Are you with me? I remember even to the point I thought you could do all things, and we're here in this surgery room. You have to. Getting ready to. You cannot leave me alone like this. You can't leave me. It is obsessive compulsive thinking. It would just ride on my fears, and it would just increase and increase and increase and increase to the point where when I finally made it to top 50, I literally looked at God and said, I don't know what's going on here, but I do not want to go on this TV show. I'm a mess, and I'm gonna look like a mess in front of all these people. There was this verse that kept coming around. I mean, it was coming in the most random places. It was Psalm 46:10. And it said, be still and know that I'm God. What does this mean? Do I just need to just calm myself down and say, you are God? I literally would try that, and yet nothing would work. As I looked into the Hebrew of this verse, when it says, be still and know that I'm God, it says, stop striving, stop fighting, let go, cause yourself to let go. I saw myself back in that moment, as they're burying my first wife, I saw myself hanging onto her casket. I saw myself being buried with her. And something began to happen. Every time the anger would come back about the why or the questions, I would just tell myself, no, I forced myself, I caused myself to let it go. And it was almost like God pulled this cork out of my heart, and these negative emotions, the bitterness just drained through. Little did I know that my grip hanging on to the things I didn't understand, to the things I felt justified in, were the very things that were pulling me down. But once I let my grip go, once I let it go, God answered my prayer. I didn't want to go into American Idol, but at this point, God reinvigorated my soul with life again. There were so many people who had written me on social media and wrote me letters. There were several stories of people who were going to take their life. Literally, one lady said she was going to take her life, but she heard my story on American Idol. She heard me crying in a different room, and she decided to put her gun down and to give her life to the Lord. It was story after story. I was happy. I took third place. Did I win? No. But you got to understand, this guy who came from such a small nothingness now had this opportunity. Now did things get way better after that? They did, and then they didn't. I ended up getting dropped from my first record label. But in that time, God whispered that music wasn't over. I got remarried. I met my second wife, Leah Sett, the unexpected chapter of my life. And it was about 5 years after American Idol. In the most unlikely places, I had a record label ended up signing me. And it was several years after American Idol that I started seeing the success of my music. I started having kids. I just started seeing more and more doors open up. I don't want to stop yet. You know, as a young kid, I didn't believe Christ was enough. I believe it was Christ, plus now I gotta do X, Y, and Z. One of the most profound things that I've learned in my walk with Christ is that He is enough. I lean towards Jesus more than ever before. I wish I could say that it was a complete change, but it's a slow by slow change. And it's just an everyday getting up and moving forward. My name is Danny Gokey, and I am second.